Do you ever feel a strange, unsettling quiet after years of professional chaos? The phone is not buzzing with urgent emails at all hours. Your calendar, once a fortress of back-to-back meetings, now has open space. You have stepped off the hamster wheel, but the silence that follows is louder than you expected. There is no fire to put out, no crisis to manage, no mountain to climb. For many high achievers, this calm does not feel like victory. It feels like a void. You might be asking yourself, is this it? Did I just lose my ambition? Or have I simply forgotten who I am without a title to define me? What if this quiet is not an ending, but the beginning of your most powerful professional phase yet? What if this peace is not emptiness, but a sign of profound strength and recovery? This state has a name, and it is the final stage of career awakening. In this video, we are going to explore the 8 definitive signs that you have reached what I call the sovereign mindset. It is a framework that will validate where you are and show you the way forward. So ask yourself, have you reached the sovereign mindset? Before we dive into the signs, let's be very clear about what the sovereign mindset is. It is not about being the boss, earning more than everyone else, or controlling a team. Hustle culture has sold us a version of sovereignty based on external power and dominance. That is a fragile kingdom, easily lost. The sovereign mindset is not about ruling an empire. It is about being the sole author of your own story. It is a state of psychological autonomy where your sense of worth and your motivation come from within. This is not a new age fantasy. It is a well-understood psychological destination. It echoes Carl Jung's concept of individuation, the process of becoming an integrated, whole self, distinct from the collective. It is the core of what modern psychology calls self-determination theory, where our well-being is built on autonomy, competence, and connection. After the fire of burnout, what remains is not ash, but refined gold. It is a state of being where you are finally free from the need for external validation. Today, we're going to break this profound shift down into 8 clear, recognizable signs you can look for in your own life. Each sign is a stepping stone on the path you have already walked. And for those of you wondering if this means giving up on your dreams, stick around, because later we will cover exactly how to be powerfully ambitious from this incredible new place. Let's begin. The first sign that you are entering this new territory is a fundamental change in what gets you out of bed in the morning. Sign number 1. Your drive comes from craft, not competition. In the rat race, your motivation was likely external. You were driven to beat the other team, to get the promotion, to hit a KPI that someone else set for you. It was a game of comparison, and the goalposts were always moving. The sovereign mindset shifts you from extrinsic to intrinsic motivation. The joy is no longer in winning, but in the work itself. You become fascinated with the process of getting better at your craft for its own sake. Think of the software developer who once obsessed over the next round of funding and market valuation. She was constantly checking competitor apps, driven by the fear of falling behind. Now, post-burnout, she spends her weekends building a small, elegant app that solves a simple problem for a niche community. She does not care if it scales or gets media attention. The satisfaction comes from writing clean code and creating something genuinely useful and beautiful. The feeling is one of deep, quiet satisfaction, rather than frantic, anxious striving. This shift is the bedrock of your new professional life, which leads directly to the second sign, a change that fundamentally alters how you see yourself in the world. Sign number 2. You no longer tie your identity to your job title. For many of us in demanding careers, "What do you do?" is the first question we ask and expect. Our answer, "I'm a director at X," or "I'm a senior partner at Y," became a shield and a summary of our worth. Losing that title, whether through burnout, layoff, or a conscious choice to step back, can feel like a kind of death. But in the sovereign mindset, you realize that title was a costume, not your skin. You stop introducing yourself with your professional credentials. When someone asks what you do, you might talk about a project you are passionate about, a hobby you are exploring, or simply say you are taking time to figure things out. There is no shame or apology in your voice because your identity is no longer for rent to a corporation. You are not your business card. A former marketing executive I know used to live for her title. After burning out, she moved to a smaller town and took a junior marketing role at a local business. Her old colleagues thought she had failed. But when she meets new people now, she talks about learning to garden or the hiking trail she discovered last week. She is not former executive. She is just Sarah. And for the first time, that feels like more than enough. This uncoupling of identity from achievement is profoundly liberating. You are a whole person, and your job is just one small part of that. You do not do things to become worthy. You do things because you already are. Now, this next sign might feel counterintuitive, especially if you have been a high achiever. It is about your relationship with the very concept of work. Sign number 3. You redefine productivity on your own terms. The old model of productivity was about hours logged, emails answered, and tasks crossed off a list. It was a game of volume, of being busy. This industrial age metric is what leads directly to burnout in a knowledge work economy. The sovereign mindset knows that being busy is not the same as being effective. You will know you have made it when you are more interested in being effective than being productive. You start to realize that 4 hours of deep, focused work can be more valuable than 12 hours of fragmented, distracted effort. You stop feeling guilty for taking a walk in the middle of the day or for stopping work at 3 p.m. because you have accomplished your most important task. Productivity is no longer about filling time. It is about creating impact. A consultant I worked with used to bill 60 hours a week, running from meeting to meeting, exhausted. After a major burnout, he redesigned his whole business model. Now, he works with only 3 clients at a time and delivers his best strategic thinking in short, focused bursts. He makes the same amount of money in a third of the time, and his clients get better results. He shifted his definition of productivity from hours billed to problems solved. Society screams that your value is in your output. That is a lie. Your value was never in question. The sovereign mindset is about remembering that. This new relationship with productivity enables the 4th sign, which is about where you look for answers. Sign number 4, you trust your gut over market trends. In the corporate world, decisions are outsourced to data, spreadsheets, and committees. We are taught to suppress our intuition, to mistrust that quiet inner knowing. Burnout is often the direct result of consistently overriding your own internal guidance system. The sovereign mindset is about reclaiming that intuition as your primary compass. This does not mean you ignore data or advice. It means the final vote always belongs to you. You listen to the market analysis, you hear the board's concerns, but then you go quiet and check in with your own sense of what is right. If a decision feels heavy and draining, you learn to see that as valuable data, even if the spreadsheet says it is a sure thing. Think of an entrepreneur who is being pushed by her investors to pivot into a trendy new market. On paper, it makes perfect sense, but her gut screams no. The old her would have capitulated, convincing herself the data knew best. The sovereign her holds her ground, trusting that her lack of enthusiasm for the project is a sign that it is not the right path for her or the company. She chooses a less trendy but more authentic path and finds a loyal audience the market reports had completely missed. Burnout is not a badge of honor. It is a sign you are giving your genius to the wrong cause. Your intuition is the homing signal pointing you back to the right one. So we have covered the deep internal shifts in motivation and decision-making. But how does this new mindset change the actual feeling of your day-to-day life and work? This brings us to sign number 5. You experience flow in both work and rest. Flow, as defined by psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, is that state of being completely absorbed in an activity. Time seems to disappear. Your sense of self dissolves, and you are fully present with the task at hand. In the hustle culture, we might have experienced this, but it was often frantic and anxiety-driven. It was the panicked flow of hitting a tight deadline. In the sovereign mindset, flow becomes calmer, more accessible, and more frequent. Because you are working on things you are intrinsically motivated by, it is easier to become absorbed. You find yourself losing track of time while designing a presentation or mentoring a colleague, not because of pressure, but because of genuine engagement. Crucially, this ability to be present extends to your rest. You can finally enjoy a weekend or a vacation without your mind secretly churning on work problems. Rest is no longer just not working. It becomes an active, rejuvenating state of flow in itself. This presence changes not just your internal world, but how you interact with others. This leads us to sign number 6. You collaborate more and compete less. When your self-worth is tied to your rank, everyone is a potential threat. Colleagues are rivals for the next promotion, and information is hoarded as a source of power. It is a lonely and exhausting way to work. The sovereign mindset operates from a place of sufficiency, not scarcity. Since your identity is secure and your drive is internal, you no longer see others' success as a threat to your own. In fact, you start to derive genuine joy from seeing your peers succeed. You find yourself freely sharing ideas, connecting people who could help each other, and celebrating team wins without a hint of personal jealousy. Imagine you have a fantastic idea for a project, but you know your colleague has the perfect skill set to execute it even better than you. The old you might have kept the idea, trying to prove you could do it all. The sovereign you walks over to their desk, shares the idea openly, and offers to support them in leading it. Your focus shifts from individual glory to the best possible outcome for the project and the team. You realize that a rising tide really does lift all boats, and you would rather be part of a thriving ecosystem than the king of a barren hill. This confidence in your own value allows for incredible generosity. So we have covered the internal shifts, but how does this show up in the real world? This brings us to our final and perhaps most powerful signs of the sovereign mindset. Your no is non-negotiable, and without guilt. For the recovering people pleaser and high achiever, no is the hardest word in the language. We often say yes to prove our worth, to show we are team players, or to avoid conflict. Every yes to the wrong thing is a no to our well-being, our families, and our most important work. The sovereign mindset understands that your no is as valuable as your yes. You stop over-explaining or justifying your boundaries. When a last-minute project lands on your desk on a Friday afternoon, the old you would have sighed and canceled your weekend plans. I do not have the capacity for that right now, but I can look at it first thing on Monday. Notice there's no lengthy apology, no elaborate excuse. It is a simple statement of fact, delivered with calm authority. You realize that setting a boundary is not an act of aggression. It is an act of self-respect. And this ability to say no to the inessential creates space for our final sign. Sign number 8. You pursue projects for joy, not just for profit. In a world that demands every hobby be turned into a side hustle, doing something purely for joy can feel like an act of rebellion. We have been conditioned to evaluate every activity based on its potential return on investment. The sovereign mindset gives you permission to be beautifully, gloriously unproductive. You start a podcast with no plan to monetize it? You take up pottery, painting, or learn a language simply because it delights you. This is not frivolous. It is essential. These joy-based projects are the wellspring of creativity and energy that will, paradoxically, make you better at your serious work. But that is not why you do them. You do them because they make you feel alive. You do not need to monetize your joy. Your joy is the point. If you are finding these signs resonating and you want to go deeper into building a life beyond the 9 to 5, consider subscribing. We explore this journey of authentic success every single week. Now we come back to the question we opened at the beginning. Does embracing the sovereign mindset mean you have to give up on your big dreams and ambitions? The answer is a resounding no. It simply means you pursue them differently. Ambition is not the enemy. Attachment is. Hustle culture, ambition is fueled by a desperate need for a specific outcome to validate your worth. Sovereign ambition is about aligned action. It is taking action that is aligned with your intrinsic values, regardless of the outcome. Here is a simple 3-step framework to pursue big goals from this place. First, clarify your intrinsic motive. Ask yourself why you truly want this goal. Is it for the external status, or is it for the craft, the connection, or the contribution? Your motive must be sovereign. Second, define your sufficient outcome. Instead of needing $1 million, maybe a sufficient outcome is simply making enough to live comfortably while doing work you love. This releases you from the pressure of chasing ever-expanding, externally defined goalposts. Third, and this is the most important, act with detachment from the result. You pour your heart into the process. You do your absolute best work, but you release your grip on needing a specific outcome. Your satisfaction comes from the aligned action itself, not from the applause or the reward at the end. This is the secret to being both peaceful and powerful, ambitious and content. So let's bring this all together. The journey through burnout and into the sovereign mindset is a profound one. You shift from competition to craft, and from your job title to your true self. You redefine productivity on your own terms and learn to trust your inner wisdom over the noise of the market. You find flow in your work and your rest, and you choose to collaborate with others instead of competing against them.
And finally, you learn the power of a guilt-free no and the pure joy of doing something for its own sake.
This state is not laziness, it is not apathy, and it is not failure. It is a higher form of effectiveness, a more sustainable path to success, and a deeper definition of a life well lived. In the beginning, I talked about that feeling of stepping off the hamster wheel into a quiet void. What you now understand is that you did not just step off the wheel. You have realized the wheel was an illusion all along, and you have remembered that you always had the power to simply stand still and build your own path. Imagine your life 6 months from now, making every choice from this place of calm authority. That is not a fantasy. It is the reality you are building right now. That is the freedom of the sovereign mindset. You are not alone on this journey. If you recognize yourself in the sovereign mindset, share which of the 8 signs resonated most with you in the comments below. Let's show each other that we are not alone on this path. Your story might be the validation someone else needs to see today. And if you would like to continue exploring this, make sure to subscribe. Thank you for sharing your time and attention.